Ready, ma'am.
A happy morning to one and all. And on behalf of AKG Public School, I have great honor in welcoming all of you for this session on child safety and its importance in the new normal. And our counselor, Mrs. Archana, is here to deliver this talk for us. But before that, I just want to share with you a small story about general parenting. Many of us think parenting needs a lot of education. There's lots in the Google where you go and try to type and find out what kind of parenting should I do. I have problems with my child. What do I do to tackle these problems? Many a time, parenting is only very intuitive. The mother's instinct, they say. So this is a very short story before I hand over the session to Archana. There is a retired school teacher and a scientist. Both of them retired and they wanted to start the garden of their own in their courtyard. And both of them said, okay, let's start this garden and let's see whose garden is nice. So the retired school teacher, being very modest, said, okay, I'll start, but I will nurture the garden how much ever I can. I'm not going to overdo this. The scientist said, I know. And he started giving it a lot of fertilizers, lot of manure, lot of water, and he started pampering his plants so much. The school teacher didn't pamper, but did what is needed for these plants to grow. Of course, just like all very green, very lush, lot of flowers, looked very beautiful. The school teacher's garden looked okay. It didn't look as luxurious as what the scientist's garden looked. Then there was a storm. So when the storm took place, what had happened was they could not come out at all. So when they didn't come out to see their garden, and after 2 days, when they came to the garden, they were really surprised. The school teacher's garden almost looked intact. But what had happened to the scientist's garden was that all the plants had just uprooted and the plants could not take that storm. They had fallen off. So the scientist was very, very curious. He said, come on, I pampered my garden so much. I gave so much of manure, so much of fertilizer, so much. And you didn't do much, but your plants seem to have survived the storm. How is it possible? So the school teacher said, I just did that much what is needed. You did much more, which is not needed. Many a times when we think that we are doing good parenting, we tend to overdo things for our children. Even now we notice that children are being fed in the classroom. Children are being told how to brush their teeth. Children are being, their shoelace is being tied by parents. When are you going to teach them to do things on their own? So what had happened was in the school teacher's garden, because the school teacher did that much only, the roots of the plant went automatically deep down and they knew how to survive. Generally, parents, this is what we do. No fault of yours. We just think that we are very good parents and we tend to overdo. So do that much for your child. And remember, whenever we remove the training wheels from the cycle, only then do children learn how to cycle. If you're scared of your children falling down and always keep the training wheels on, the child will never learn cycling. So there are certain things that we have to let go and see that the child has to learn on its own. But in this, we also have to be very careful with our child's safety. Safety, when we are mentioning the word safety, we are not mentioning only physical safety, but mental safety. It may be a very normal word that you're using, but that may affect the child very, very much. In Tamil, there is a saying that goes, Teenal suttapun ullarum arade navinal suttavadu. Meaning, even a burnt hurt will recover. We can put some medicines physically and get it recovered. But what words that we are using sometimes hurts the child so much that it can't be recovered at all. So be very, very careful of the words that we are speaking, especially during this kind of new norm period. The stress that you are building up builds up to the child also. So here we are talking about child's safety and its importance in this new norm. Let me take the honor of welcoming our school counselor, Archana. Archana has completed a master's in counseling and guidance from the Madras School of Social Work. She is associated with the Institute of Child Health Hospital in Egmore. She is also associated with various counseling centers in Chennai. She counsels children with disability, and she has also conducted various workshops on life skill management and soft skills. I have this honor of introducing Archana to you, and over to Archana to conduct this talk on child safety and its importance in the new norm. Over to you, Archana.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your kind words. Good morning to one and all. Today we are going to see the topic child safety and its importance in the new normal. Okay, today we are fighting a pandemic, and child safety, as always, is important, and it is more so important in this pandemic time. All right, so we are going to see what is child safety, why is it important, what can we do to protect our children, and how do we protect them in the new normal. This is going to be the synopsis of today's session. All right. So as we go ahead, okay. What is child safety? Child safety is a vast area. Child safety is concerned with limiting children's exposure to hazards and reducing children's risk of harm. Children are particularly vulnerable to accidents, and their safety requires different approaches from those of adults. Okay, so by child safety, as ma'am already mentioned, we are not only talking about the physical safety of the child, but in this pandemic times, the mental and emotional safety of the child plays a very, very important role. So we have to be, you have to be, as parents, you have to be your child's best friend and take care of the physical, mental, and emotional needs of your child, and you have to bring the child to safety. We have to provide the child with a safe environment. So how do you limit your child's exposure to hazards, and how do you reduce the risk of harm to your child? How do you protect your child? This is going to be the topic, and we have to remember that the safety of children, the approaches you use for the safety of children is different from, protecting ourselves, protecting adults. The approach is different. So we are going to see about all that. Why is child safety important? You can say, my child is inside the house, he is safe. Why is it important, ma'am? My child is before my eyes, he's safe. Okay. All right. Physically, he's safe. What about the mental and emotional security? What about the mental and emotional safety of the child? Why is it important? Child safety. The child has to feel secure. Okay, secure with its immediate environment and its social environment. This security, emotional and mental security, as well as physical security, is very, very important for the social and emotional development of the child. Only when you provide a safe environment for the child will be socially outgoing, and he will have a balance of emotions. He will know to express himself clearly and express his emotions clearly. That is not going to the ends. That is, they have to have a balanced emotions, not too much of anger, not too much of sadness, not too much of happiness. Only when you provide a safe environment and the child will know that, okay, I am safe here, people around me are good, I can trust them. Only when the child builds its trust on you as parents or teachers or neighborhood, only then will they feel emotionally and socially very, very secure. And that is very, very important for the social and emotional development of the child. In the school setting, it is very, very important. It is our duty as teachers and parents to provide a safe environment for the child. The child should feel at home in school also. That is, he should feel the same safety that he is feeling at home at school also. And as teachers, it is our duty to provide that safe environment for our children. Okay. In the wake of recent developments of physical, emotional, and mental harassments undergone by several children, it is important that we talk about this particular topic. Okay, this particular topic is very, very important in the wake of the recent developments that are happening, which have caused physical and emotional harassments for several children. Okay, for this, the main point, the starting point of this harassment is the social media. What I request as a counselor, my request to parents is, you have to keep a check. That is, you just know what your child is doing on a social media. Okay, and also during class hours, in between classes, if they are playing any online games or if they are going into social media platforms, please keep a check on whatever they are doing. So let us see how these physical, emotional, and mental harassments can be handled by us parents and teachers for protecting our children, for the safety of our children. First one, this is common for both younger kids as well as older kids. Encourage your child to talk about, if any, inappropriate behavior by any trusted adult. So these kind of harassments are usually done for younger children and older children. It is usually done by a trusted adult, that is somebody who is very much known to the family. So if the child is experiencing, or if your child is telling you that she or he is not comfortable, he is feeling uncomfortable in the presence of any adult, any trusted adult, you might know them for so many years, that's not the point. But if the child reports, or if the child even hints saying that he is uncomfortable or she is uncomfortable in the presence of that person, please make sure that you make some excuse and avoid that person from coming home, or avoid your child's presence when that person is coming home. So please encourage your child to talk about anything, any inappropriate behavior by trusted adults. Many parents will say, okay, they will not listen. They are very, very busy in today's lifestyle and they will not have time to sit and talk to the child. Whether your child is a primary schooler or he's in high school, please find time. Please make time to sit and talk to your child about his entire day. And if he is talking about any inappropriate behavior by any adult member, please pay extra attention. All right, the next one is, any remarks affecting the self-esteem or self-worth of the child should also be brought to parental notice. anything, any remarks passed by any adult member, which will affect the self-esteem or the self-worth of any child, should also be brought to the parental notice. That is, if somebody is scolding the child very badly, or if he is using inappropriate words to scold the child, which will affect the self-worth or the self-esteem of the child, it is very, very harmful for the social and emotional development of the child. When the self-esteem or the self-worth itself is harmed, then the child will not become a holistic individual in future. He will become a person who has self-doubt. So we have to nurture, as we are nurturing the social and emotional well-being of the child, it is very, very important for us to nurture the self-esteem. We have to give positive inputs for the child. We have to give positive inputs for the child to develop his or her self-esteem, and we have to encourage the child. We have to tell him that he can do anything under the sun, and anything under the sun is possible if he puts his efforts. That is the way you bring up the child. Okay, so any remarks that are affecting the self-esteem of the child can go a long way in affecting his personality. So anything that is affecting the self-esteem of the child should be nipped at the bud, and it should be brought to parental notice. And if it is brought to parental notice, you can probably talk to the person whom the child is referring to, or you can take any appropriate action that is as required for the well-being of the child. Next one is listen to your child and trust your child. Always listen to your child. Like I previously said, it is very, very important for us as parents and as teachers. As parents, because now due to the pandemic, they are confined to homes. Children are confined to homes. So please, please listen to your children, and whatever they say, just don't tell them, oh, Abdullah, nothing like that. Don't do that. It's not like that. It's what you're telling is not true. Don't tell lies. Don't say such things. Please trust your child. When your child is saying something, believe me that no child will say lies or will wantedly say such things. So please trust your child. If he or she mentions anything with which he or she is finding it uncomfortable, that is the key. You have to become your child's friend. Then only she will trust you more and will open up more and will talk to you more, and you will be able to extract all the information from the child. Okay, be your child's friend. Next one is teaching your child about good touch and bad touch. Okay, allow children to be handled by adults whom they are comfortable with. Yes, and do not allow anybody who is not who your child is not comfortable with. Okay, when tell them what is good touch and what is bad touch, and whom the child can trust and whom the child cannot trust. Like I said, teaching good touch and bad touch at an early age is very, very important, and it will help the child in the long run. Teach children about good touch and bad touch. Except family members, do not allow anyone else to lift the child or to put them on their lap. Okay, except family members, don't allow anybody, any guests coming, or any acquaintance is coming, any neighbor is coming inside their house. Okay, if you're in an apartment, a neighbor talks to the child very lovingly. Okay, but don't allow them to touch the child. Even if they are grown up children, don't allow them to touch and talk. No touching and talking. Okay, by say 6 years or 8 years, don't allow the children to touch and talk. That is because they don't know what is important and what is not important. So don't allow children to touch each other and talk. Okay, maintain a safe distance, and don't allow strangers to talk to children, or don't encourage. Please tell children and encourage them to report any strangers if any strangers are there in the apartment or anything. If they don't know somebody, don't allow them to talk to that person. Next is the legal angle. This is the POCSO Act of 2012. POCSO Act of 2012 is to protect children from any kind of offences: physical, mental, emotional, social, any kind of offence. The POCSO Act is gender neutral. That is, it says not only girl children, even boys are prone to some kind of harassments and offences, and that also means equal importance, and you have to take equal notice of the same. Okay, so POCSO Act uh, tells us, it urges educational institutions to form a committee to spread awareness about POCSO, and also to keep a check on any kind of inappropriate behaviors or activities in any angle. Right? The POCSO also says educational institutions are to have a letter box where children, if there are any complaints, children can write it out, and even with anonymity, they can put the letters in the letter box, and school heads can check the letter box once a week or twice a week, and they can take appropriate actions if necessary with regard to the welfare of the child. So, according to the POCSO Act, our school, AKG Public School, has a child safety committee that is headed by our principal ma'am, and it also includes the coordinators of both the primary section and the high school section, our respected teachers, parent representatives. Yes, because in this pandemic time, children are at home. Yes, and it is very important for the parent to protect the child and ensure that they are safe. So our committee has parent representatives as well, and we have student volunteers. So that older children are more attached to their peer group. So if they face any kind of discomfort or difficulties, they are very open to their friends and classmates, and they can discuss freely. So we have student volunteers also, and myself, school counselor, myself, I'm also a part of the committee. Yes, and one more thing which I also want to stress is that in case if you want to protect yourself from any kind of harassments, you can always use a chili spray or a pepper spray, or you can also, in case, I would like to tell an anecdote of an incident that happened to one of my friends. That is, they were traveling in a taxi, and suddenly the taxi, she was traveling with her kid. So traveling in a taxi, and the taxi driver just said he wanted to meet somebody, and he stopped the taxi and in the middle of a busy road, and he went off. This girl, she was waiting with the child. After 10 minutes, she found something very, you know, something was not all right. She sensed that something was not all right, and based on her instinct, she just checked the car door, and it was not locked. So she just called somebody, one lady who was going on the road, and opened the door, got out of the car, caught an auto, and reached home. Okay, and after that, that driver never called back or anything. So always trust on your instincts and act according to your presence of mind. Whenever you are in trouble or whenever you are with your children, please, if you find any discomfort, or just as I mentioned, if you have some incident like that occurs, please act quickly and with presence of mind, and at the same time ensuring uh, the child's safety. Next one, the motive of this committee is to spread awareness and to caution parents and children against any inappropriate activities or harassments of any kind. Actually, as parents, uh, we are fighting a pandemic, and in the middle of that we have a lot of worries like cyberbullying, bullying, internet safety. We have stress regarding various things. Okay, we have depressions. Okay, we have unhealthy eating practices. Children have unhealthy. We are worried about so many things. In the uh, in the middle of this particular topic, the child safety is a very important, and it requires our immediate attention. That is why we have created this child safety committee in our school, and the motive of this committee is to spread awareness and to caution parents and children against any inappropriate activities or harassments of any kind. Please feel free to report if you face any issues. If you face any issues at all, you can feel free to report it, and it will be confidentiality will be maintained, and you can also request anonymity if needed. So the first thing is you have to let children be children. Yes, only if you give them the freedom. At the same time, like a kite, children are like a kite. Okay, you have to let the kite fly, but the thread should be in your hands. Okay, you have to give them freedom. At the same time, you have to curtail them in certain aspects. Like I told you, please check their social media activities. Yeah, you can see everybody is on Facebook, right? Everybody is on various social platforms. You can become their friend. Okay, and or you can just ask them to tell them about their friends they find on Facebook, because this is what is recently happening. So much people are playing games, online games, and they are connecting with their Facebook friends, and few cases of one person has kidnapped a girl child, like that some few cases are coming. So we have to be safe. That is more important. It is very important that you give children the freedom, but you curtail them in certain aspects, and then it is better safe to be than be sorry. So child safety is of utmost importance and very important, whether it is a young child or a older child, whether it is a toddler or a teenager. It is very important. Our safety, child safety, is very important. Child safety is the need of the hour, and we have to realize it, and we have to, as parents, your child is your responsibility, and as parents it is your bounded duty to keep your children safe physically, emotionally, and mentally, so that they become holistic, well developed personalities and holistic individuals in the future. Thank you so much. With this, I would like to end my session. Thank you so much for patient listening. Thank you, ma'am.
You're in mute, ma'am.
There is a Maslow hierarchy which says, the first thing that is needed for any learning is that the child should be psychologically safe. So first instance of learning takes place when the child's safety is there. When the child feels that it's a safe environment, it's a happy environment, it's an environment where I can talk, I can do something freely. That's what Maslow says. The first thing of learning for all of us, actually, it's just not the child, even for us. When we don't find safety in a place, then the second level itself becomes very tough, very difficult. So please remember this. Psychologically, the children should feel safe, feel secure. Then the next thing is biological safety, then social safety. Then the child should not feel hungry. Then only learning takes place. So in the Maslow hierarchy, learning is one part that we teachers can do, especially when it comes online. We try to make this environment as secure, as safe as possible. But you, as parents, also can be stakeholders here. Please make sure that you know what the child is doing in the internet platform. There is nothing that it becomes privacy for the child. There is no privacy needed for children. So you can actually go and ask them what are they doing and what websites are they looking for and why they are looking for. You can say, I can help you. So you don't have to appear as if we are interviewing him or we are trying to find fault with him. We can say, I can help you, child. So please tell me what you're looking for. So please be aware. Awareness is very, very important in child safety. Please be aware of what the children, don't just let them go in a room with internets, with hotspots, with everything given. It is not safe for the child. The child sometimes, when he doesn't know how to communicate, he starts communicating to somebody in the internet. So please make sure that you know your child well. There is awareness. You don't have to panic. Go with your instinct. Definitely, instincts will guide you as parents. If your child has any not normal behavior, if he is suddenly very lonely, if he is shutting himself into a room, if he is not attending classes, then please ask what happened. Why are you not attending class? Is there a problem for you? Is there somebody bullying you? Is there somebody talking something to you? Nothing wrong. And make it a habit to talk to your child. In the evening, when classes are over, when everything is done, please make it, you start first. You know how my day was? Today, this is what I had. So the child also is progressive. He also comes and says, this is what happened in my class today. So have that as a session. Have that as a family bonding, that you all sit together and talk about the day and the day is happening. I think there itself you will start understanding children very, very much. And as Archana says, encourage children to speak. Please listen to them. They do matter. There is something important that the child wants to tell to you, and they will not talk to you when you want them to talk. When you form an agenda, a meeting, then I say, okay, 8 o'clock, I want to talk to you. Please come to the dining room. No child will come. The child wants to tell something to you. Please put off everything and listen to him. That 5 minutes, that 2 minutes, very, very important. There may be a lot of things that you will know because many a times the child in between class may come running and telling you, you know what happened? The teacher might have said good, and he feels very, very elated by that good. And he wants to convey that to you. He wants to tell you, you know, my teacher said good today. And you don't have time to listen to that. So many times that also happens. And slowly he starts feeling insecure, doesn't want to share things with you. So please make sure as parents, you are intuitive and prime for teachers, parents, all of us is child safety. Like I told you, Maslow's hierarchy, learning will take place only if there is psychologically insecure feeling goes off and the feeling of safety and emotional bonding is there between the teacher, the taught, and the parents. So it was a wonderful session, parents. We will have lot more of such sessions. Please give us your feedback regarding this session. We'll be very happy to receive feedback from all of you. On behalf of all the parents, I once again thank our counselor Archana for such a enlightening session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, parents. Thank you, teachers. It was a wonderful session. Let's meet at another session very quickly. Thank you.